It all started with a breakup so messy that it ended not just in tears, but in gasoline. In Judge Judy's courtroom, tempers flared, accusations flew, and a love story that once seemed simple turned into a legal war over a $1,200 van, a destroyed bedroom set, and a fight that nearly went up in flames. This is the unbelievable courtroom clash between Ms. Clonch and Mr. McCracken, a story of love gone wrong, lies, and one judge who wasn't buying any excuses. When Ms. Clonch and Mr. McCracken first met, it probably felt like a fresh start. She moved in with him, leaving behind her old life and bringing along her furniture, her dreams, and a little hope that maybe this relationship would last. For 6 months, they shared a home, their lives intertwined. But behind the walls of that house, something darker brewed, anger, control, and emotional chaos that would soon erupt in one unforgettable way. In court, Judge Judy wasted no time getting to the heart of the matter. "Ms. Clonch," she began sharply, "Mr. McCracken used to be your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend anymore. I've read your complaint, and it sounds like you had one. Hell of a fight when you broke up." The courtroom was silent as Ms. Clonch confirmed the date, September 16th, 2013. That was the day everything fell apart. The couple had lived together for 6 months. During that time, they shared almost everything, except apparently honesty and trust. Judge Judy started dissecting the story piece by piece, trying to understand how a simple relationship turned into a financial and emotional disaster. Ms. Clonch explained that while living together, she sold her old 1996 BMW to buy a 2004 Dodge Caravan. She claimed she paid $1,200 for it, all from her own money. But Mr. McCracken wasn't having it. Interrupting her, he insisted that he was the one who paid for the van. "She hasn't had a job or paid taxes in 9 years, he said sarcastically. "I don't know how she could have paid for it." Judge Judy leaned forward, unimpressed. "Do you have any proof that you paid for it?" she asked. He didn't. All he had were assumptions and insults. She turned to Ms. Clonch again, asking how she came up with the $1,200. Ms. Clonch said it was from the sale of her BMW and some money her mother gave her. But Judy wasn't convinced. "Now you're going into territory that I put in this category. Not truthful," she snapped. Then came the real bombshell, the gasoline incident. According to Ms. Clonch, after a heated breakup, Mr. McCracken, in a fit of rage, took gasoline and poured it all over her van, damaging the paint. Shockingly, Mr. McCracken didn't deny it. He just justified it. "It was my van," he said. "I paid for it. Judge Judy wasn't having any of it." "Is the car in your name?" she asked. "No, Your Honor," Ms. Clonch admitted softly. "Then you can't have it back," Judy said flatly. "And if you," she turned to Mr. McCracken, "poured gasoline on it and it was in her name, then you'd have to pay for the damage." The courtroom watched as Judy's questions cut deeper. The van, the money, the lies, it all came tumbling out. Ms. Clonch said the paint damage would cost $800 to fix. Judy scoffed. "If you think I'm going to give you $800 for a $200 car that's now a year older, you're operating in another zone. That's not going to happen." She decided to give her $100 for the trouble, just enough to send a message to Mr. McCracken. "You shall not do that again." But that wasn't the end. Ms. Clonch's lawsuit also included a missing bedroom set, one she claimed she had owned for over 14 years. She brought it with her when she moved in with Mr. McCracken, and after fleeing his home during the gasoline episode, she said he refused to return it. The bed, she said, had sentimental value. It once belonged to a close friend who passed away. Judge Judy turned serious. "Where was the bedroom set?" she asked. "In the house we shared," Ms. Clonch said. "When I left, I went to stay with family. Later, with a sheriff's deputy, I came back to get my belongings. I took pictures of what I left behind, including the bed, but when I returned 27 days later, it was gone." Mr. McCracken claimed he had moved the bed and other furniture to the garage. "She left my house in rumbles," he said defensively. Judy rapped her desk sharply. "If you put it outside, you're responsible for it," she said firmly. "You had an obligation to preserve her property. The reason she fled was because you acted like a nut." That's when Judge Judy dropped the hammer. "You not only poured gasoline on the car," she said coldly, "but you poured gasoline in the house." "No, Your Honor," he objected. "I poured it around the vehicle," she interrupted. "So you poured gasoline around the vehicle and the driveway? You could have killed someone. Would it ever dawn on you to resolve a fight by doing that? Her bailiff Bird raised an eyebrow. That's a little much, he said dryly. The courtroom chuckled, but the tension was real. Mr. McCracken tried to justify his behavior. She wanted to destroy my business, so I said, I'll destroy it. It was my van, my business. It wasn't your van, Judy shot back. It wasn't in your name. And you had no right to do that. Her voice grew sharper. And you had an obligation to preserve her property for at least 30 days. If you moved the bedroom set outside, you're responsible for its loss. The man had no proof that Ms. Clonch came back and took the bed herself. His words fell apart under Judy's relentless questioning. When she asked about the restraining order, he admitted that a judge had indeed granted Ms. Clonch protection against him. Did the judge give her a restraining order for a year? She asked. Yes, he said quietly. He said he had to. Judge Judy leaned back and said, Of course he did. At that point, Judy had heard enough. I'm awarding you $1,500 for the bedroom. Set and $100 for the car, she ruled. Mr. McCracken's counterclaim for money he said he lent her to. Buy the van was dismissed without hesitation. He had no receipts, no title, no credibility. Even at the end, he tried to explain, saying he was a businessman and that she had manipulated him. Judy wasn't buying it. You're a businessman who poured gasoline on a woman's car, she reminded him coldly. You should be thanking your lucky stars you're not in jail. And just like that, it was over. Bird looked at both parties and said, You may step out. The cameras faded as the two former lovers left the courtroom, their faces heavy with bitterness. In the end, Judge Judy's ruling was clear, fair, and fierce, exactly what viewers love her for. It wasn't just about the car or the furniture. It was about accountability, about standing up to someone who thought anger could replace reason, and about reminding everyone watching that no matter how bad a breakup gets, you don't solve it with gasoline. M's. Clonch walked away with $1,600 and a little piece of justice. Mr. McCracken walked away with humiliation and a very public lesson. In Judge Judy's courtroom, you can't hide behind excuses. You can't twist the truth. And you definitely can't pour gasoline on your problems and hope they disappear. Because as Judge Judy proved once again, when the truth comes out, it burns hotter than any fire.